All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have everyone here this evening for our first of what will be a few of our Resica leaders updates. We'll host these virtually as a way to interface with everybody and keep everybody up to date with all of the exciting things happening for our Resica Fall Summer Camp this summer. Like I said, so we're thrilled to have everyone on tonight, and we're just excited to kick off the summer of 2022 with everybody on tonight. Thanks for the great turnout. We're excited to have more than 100 people joining us. So it's going to be a great night. A few of the housekeeping things that I do want to go over with this being a Zoom webinar that makes it unique compared to a couple of the other virtual platforms that you may have used. So we won't be able to see or hear you, but you'll be able to see and hear us as we go on and off camera throughout our different presentations tonight. So we ask that you please use the Q&A feature at the bottom. That's the best way to ask questions. Some of those questions we'll answer live. Some of those questions we'll answer in the chat itself, but that's the best way to ask your questions tonight. And we will also be providing a recording of this on the Resica Falls YouTube channel, and we'll also email that link out to all of our registrants once that's available later in the week. So stay tuned for that. Without any further ado, I want to introduce the team that we have tonight and go over tonight's agenda. Very excited to be sharing with everyone that the entire 5-person leadership team for Resica Falls will be joining again or returning again for this summer. Just after a great summer last year, we're thrilled to have Steve Mock back as the camp director, Jerry Reed back as the assistant camp director, Jacob Huff as our program director, and Andy Connell as our assistant program director. And I'm John Bickle. I'm our director of outdoor adventures for the Cradle of Liberty Council. For tonight's agenda, we're going to review some of the important dates and fees for the 2022 summer season. We're going to go over the new and exciting changes from 2021. Food, and more food. Going to talk food service and what you can expect in the dining hall and from our menu this year. We're going to talk about our new program schedule and help you understand it a little bit more. And then preparing for Expedition Resica, which is our theme this summer. So without any further ado, I'm going to kick it off and then we'll pass it along. But I'm going to kick it off with our important dates and fee discussion here for this summer that's important for everyone to know about. So things are a little bit different this year on several fronts. And one of those ways are our important dates and our fees. So everybody saw that we have a new registration platform that we used. Got a little bit started later in the game than we were hoping with that move to the Black Plug system, but we're happy to be on that system. It's going to be much more user-friendly for all of you that are using the online platform. There's more reporting. It will also allow us to do a little bit more from a merit badge registration and tracking, but we'll get into that later in the presentation. So excited to be on the new platform. Just ask that everybody kind of roll with us here as we also learn the system. The good part is that Black Plug's used by more than 50% of the scout camps out there. So we have that going for us. It's really the best system to use from a summer camp registration standpoint. So we're excited to be on the platform. We're just, being honest that we're learning as we go along here. So you'll see, hopefully everybody knows this, but March 1st is the early bird deadline. The key change here is that you have to pay $50 per scout. This is this early bird deposit is individual. You have to make sure that each scout gets that payment in. You can do it as a troop, as one lump sum, or you can have each of the individual scouts get that in, but that's got to be in tomorrow. Ideally, it would be in by midnight, but certainly tomorrow at the very latest, that's got to be in because the system will automatically apply the full fee to any individual scout that a deposit is not paid in the system for them by the end of the day tomorrow, in addition to your 250 unit deposit. The next important date is April 1st, an additional $100 for a total of $150 per scout will be due by April 1st. So that way you can apply for your program registrations. Also, April 1st is the magic date when the camperships are due for those Cradle of Liberty Council scouts who are submitting a campership financial aid application. And then finally, May 15th is the final date when all payments are due. So that's a little bit about our dates and important fees. Want to make sure that just everybody is aware, just the reminder to make sure that everybody goes in and has paid that $50 deposit for each scout by certainly by the end of the day tomorrow at the very latest. Couple of tips and tricks. You should have gotten 3 or 4 emails from us at this point through the Black Plug registration system. If you haven't, please put that in the Q&A, just so we can be aware. And not every person individually on your registration would have gotten it, but if your troop has not gotten it, and you think you're registered for camp, please let us know, because we want to make sure that you're getting all of the important communications. The other important piece to note with that is that in a couple of those emails, we've had registration resources to help you with the Black Plug system. So just, be aware of that and go look at that, especially that email that was sent earlier today. There's a 2 great resources in there, both for navigating the system, but also for being able to upload your unit roster. And the last 2 things that I have to mention is that when you go in, make sure you click check out. That's what saves everything in the system. So if you may have gone in and done work, but if you haven't clicked checkout, then it won't save your work. So make sure that you click that checkout button, even if you're not expecting to need to pay something. First, that'll tell you, hey, if you do need to pay something, but also that's what will flag, so that way that way everything is saved. And then the last thing, we got a lot of questions the last couple of days about Weeblos and new scouts. We just want to clarify that. So there's a tab for Weeblos crossovers. Any Weeblo that you have join, regardless of when it is between now and camp, register them as a Weeblos crossover. Also, if you have anyone that is a new scout that joins between now and summer camp, we also extend that early bird fee to them as well. So any Weeblo crossover or new scouts that register, put them in as a Weeblos crossover. That way they will automatically get the early bird fee regardless of when you register them. So anyway, looking forward to a great summer, and wanted to make sure that everybody's aware of this new system and some of these new fees. Any questions, Steve, or anybody else from the group that are in the question and answers that I should take while I'm live? Any questions from anybody that I should take while I'm live? All right, well then I will turn the floor over to Steve Mock, our camp director, to talk about some of the changes and what's coming back for the 2022 summers. Steve, take it away.
All right, thanks, John. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me? Okay, good. All right, so a lot of the stuff that we are going to be talking about throughout the night is located in our 2022 program guide. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do. It's resicafalls.org under summer camp in the important documents section. All right, the program guide is going to be the ultimate resource for your stay in camp this year. So what's new in 2022? 2021 was certainly a unique and interesting summer for all of us, but we're looking to try and bring a little more normalcy back to the operation at Resica Falls. So first, streamlined program guide, right? We took the leaders guide, we took the program guide, these 2 kind of massive guides that had a lot of information in it, and to be honest, a bit of redundancy. And we trimmed them down, looked through what was actually the important information, and combined them back into one document to make it easier for everyone attending camp. So that's kind of the first big change that we've got coming our way in 2022. The next one is our program schedule. We've had a couple questions about it already. Jacob and Andy are going to go into much detail about our revised program schedule. But we sat down and we looked at the amount of program that we were offering, the quality of the program that we are offering, and ultimately made the decision that in order to continue to offer a superior quality program in both the areas of merit badge instruction, as well as in all of our other camp-wide activities, that we needed to make a shift and a change in the program schedule. So that's why you'll notice that the merit badges are concentrated in the morning, and a lot of the afternoons are left open for a lot of the camp-wide programs and trips and things like that. That is our big program schedule change, but Jacob and Andy are going into more details about all of that, right? Online merit badge records, no more blue cards, okay? We sat down, we thought about it, we looked through the feasibility in Black Pug, what we were going to be able to do. And we made the decision that at the end of the week, any merit badge progress is going to be recorded by our area directors in Black Pug, which means a couple key things. First, right, all scouts absolutely have to be named in Black Pug. The scouts that come to camp are the ones that have their names in camp, in Black Pug, okay? You know, in the past we've had, oh, well, we're bringing 15 scouts, but we swapped out one and the name's just a little different. Those names of those scouts that are in Black Pug have to be the names of those scouts that are coming to camp, all right? So make sure you're keeping on top of that and making those changes and updates as best as you can. From there, right, also, right, scouts have to be registered. We did really good with this last year, making sure that all the scouts are registered for the classes that they wanted to participate in. Let's keep that up this year. If scouts are registered in their classes, it's a very simple recording for our counselors, whether it's a complete or a partial. You'll be able to access the information that is recorded in the Black Pug. This will be happening during Friday lunch. So Friday afternoon, you'll be able to go, you'll be able to see what's been recorded and kind of prepare yourself for the merit badge reconciliation on Friday evening, just like in the past. But instead of reviewing blue cards, you'll review the progress that's been recorded into Black Pug. In general, right, lots of badges and lots of programs are modifying and being changed. We're bringing back metalwork merit badge this year, giving automotive maintenance a breakdown at the shop, all right, and trying to do lots of fun and exciting things to kind of keep things going, including a large camp-wide games on Wednesday afternoon with a parade field lunch, which Jacob and Andy will also be talking about in a little more detail. What's returning, what's coming back, all right, where have we been? Last year, we thought adding the medical rechecks to the elementary school was big progress. There was a kind of help streamline the check-in process in many ways. So we're going to continue that part of the check-in process at the elementary school. In addition to the reviewing of paperwork and rosters and things like that with Jerry and myself. All right, merit badge class capacities worked well last year during the summer of 2021. We'll obviously be increasing them a little bit this summer to accommodate all of our campers, but we're going to hold on to capacities for all of our merit badge classes, and those are all noted in the program guide as well. Saturday morning departure, right, or more of a traditional end to the summer camp, running through a whole day of activities and things on Friday. Friday evening, we'll have dinner. Merit badge reconciliation, not a blue card reconciliation, merit badge reconciliation, and then the closing ceremony, which will then lead us to Saturday morning, where we'll have a breakfast, check out, and have everybody on their way on Saturday morning. We're bringing back traditional polar bear swims, no rotating schedules, right? Bringing back our 2 night owl swims on Tuesday and Thursday evening. Bringing back our open swims in the afternoon, okay? And of course, which I'm sure all of your scouts are going to be overly thrilled and excited about, we're returning Gaga, right? So lots of fun, lots of exciting things that are happening inside the summer of 2022 that we're hoping to, again, continue to take those steps to sort of return to normalcy with everything going on for this summer. Are there any big questions in the Q&A that I should be answering live? Black Pug is not Scout Book, okay? Black Pug does have a direct integration with Scout Book. So once we've recorded things in the Black Pug, you will be able to transfer and submit that data via Scout Book. Okay. How do Scout units present sign-offs for the prereqs? Okay, supplying a note from the Scoutmaster or a letter like that, so that they can turn that into the counselor. That would be a big help. Or the Scout actually bringing the requirement, proof of the requirement themselves. Okay. John, there seems to be a lot of people with Black Pug operational and user issues. Not user issues, but a bit of a learning curve with Black Pug. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, or
Yeah,
if
real quick. Yeah, going through a couple of the questions that are in here. Thanks for letting me hop back on here, Steve. So looking at a couple of the questions that are in here. So like Steve said, Black Pug is not Scout Book. It's a separate third-party system that, like I said, more than half of the Scout councils use to register for summer camp and other events that we've moved onto for this year. But Black Pug does interface with Scout Book very nicely. So they're different systems, but Black Pug plays well with Scout Book. Couple of the other questions that are in here more specifically, you can pay for spots without naming scouts at this point. That won't be an option, in the future, but for now, that is an option that you're able to do. Somebody asked, why aren't we just using Scout Book? Black Pug isn't, we can't register people for summer camp in Scout Book. So that's why we're not able to just use Scout Book. We have to use a third-party system at this point, and Black Pug's the system that we've gone with. Another couple of questions about where was it up here? Some folks had trouble, it looked like, with removing or editing their quantity count in Black Pug. The best advice that I can offer for that at this point is to email camping@colbsa.org. That's camping, CAMPING, at C as in cradle, O as in of, L as in liberty, BSA.org, and Kim and or Tracy will be able to respond to answer to your questions about editing the numbers. That's one I would call it thing with Scout with Black Pug that we're still learning through. But aside from that, most of the things units can seem to be able to do themselves. That does seem to be one piece that we haven't been able to get units to be able to do yet. So Tracy and Kim can walk you through that. So I think that's most of the Black Pug related questions at this point. I'll be on, throughout the meeting to be able to help answer any other questions that arise from that standpoint. But I hope that answers everything for now.
All right, yeah, so a couple other things that have sort of come up, right? Black Pug, P-U-G, pug like the dog, not bug. Black Pug, for those interested in the actual pronunciation and spelling. It does not interface with Troopmaster in the same way that it interfaces with Scout Book. That involves you interfacing and connecting your scouts in Scout Book between Black Pug and Scout Book. Okay, it is not manual entry like you would record blue card progress or anything like that. And again, we're recording it via via Black Pug, not via blue cards. So you will not receive blue cards at the end of the week. Okay. For those that are interested, when merit badge signups open, it's April 1st, and procedures for that are outlined in the program guide. Okay. So these are, like I said, some of our big changes and shifts back to a little bit of normalcy. We're really looking to try and operate as normal and traditional as a summer camp operation as we can in 2022. At this time, we are prepared, if need be, to include any of our COVID mitigations that worked extremely effectively last year. So that way, if we need be, we'd be able to put those things into place. At this time, we're not looking to put any of those into place, but we're prepared to make the adjustment if need be. Okay. And of course, you will be able to check up on Scout progress with area directors and things like that ahead of time, right? And this is a new system for us. We're trying to, learn along with you all the pros and cons and the inner workings of Black Pug. If there's things that work and things that you notice that seem to be improvements, areas of improvement, things like that, please let us know. Okay. Next little ad before we move on to our next part of the presentation is about Seek, right? Seek was launched in 2021. It's there for us to prepare the next generation of camp staff, right? We took our traditional counselor and training program, we modified it, we amped it up We've created our Seek program, which was highly effective for the 19 scouts that participated in the program last summer. They all had a blast. They had a great time, and it sparked interest in camp staff, and many of them have applied. And as we're working through the hiring process now, so it's a great opportunity for them if they're interested in joining camp staff. It's also a great leadership opportunity for them to grow as leaders, both in your troop and in scouting in general. And it's just also a nice way for them to kind of make that transition from camper to camp staff. So you can find out more at resicafalls.org/summer/seek, and share that with any of your older scouts who are at least 15 years of age or up. At this point, the one and only Jerry Reed.
Hey, good evening all. Dining Hall 2022. Aeromark will be our food service again for 2022. And we look forward to having a good menu planned, and it's out for approval for nutrition. A couple of things, seatings in the dining hall. The assigned seats by troop, 8 to a table. And we also will have some outside seating available for those troops that were there last summer. We had 2 big tents outside that you could go outside and eat if you preferred that. But we will assign you some seating indoors in case of foul weather. Again, meal times, we will have 2 shifts per meal. We'll have an A and a B, and we will put those times on your wristband that we're going to give you at check-in. So we'll make it easy for you so you know what time your meals are. And all 3 meals are the same throughout the day. You'll be assigned check-in. All right, yeah, so you'll get your meal assignment times at check-in down at the Resica Falls Elementary School. What else on the meal times? I was gonna say wristbands, we did that. That's about it. I'll come back to that on meal times. All right. Servicing food. We're gonna do the family style again for breakfast and dinner. So we're gonna need 2 waiters per table. We're going to go back to the kind of the way we usually do it at Resica. Breakfast and dinner will be family style, and lunch will be a cafeteria style. No waiters needed, okay? We're also going to bring back the salad bar, the cereal bars, and fruit bars are returning for 2022. We've met with the person in charge of our account and the person that's going to be on site for all summer at Resica already. So they're anxious to work with us. They're helping us. We're trying to get everything lined up. So it's a great summer. Come hungry. We're going to have a great food this year. All right. I'll look into some questions on the chat here. Is there anything I should get into over meals? Not yet. Black Pug. It doesn't seem to be any at the this moment in time. Where we at there? Nope, doesn't seem to be any questions in the question and answers. Anything else I need to say, guys, or I think that's it. All right, let's see, who's next? Is Steve on there? create a lifetime of memories and earn a salary. Please, if you have any scouts that are 15 years and older in your troop and they would like to join camp staff, please, they can go on to resicafalls.org, summer camp, and they can put in an application. We've already started 3 days of interviews. We've hired probably 40 or 50 staff members, and we're still looking for some more. So in order to cover all the merit badges, we're looking for some good scouts that can teach a merit badge. I guess it will be 8 weeks of scouts, well, 7 weeks of scouts, 1 week of setup for the staff, and then a couple days to close down. So it's a good event to get away from mom and dad for the summer, and they will come home different, let me tell you. You will not get the same person that you sent off to staff, I'll tell you that. They learn a lot. They learn how to do their own laundry, and they actually make a lot of friends. We hire close to 100 staff members, and they make a lot of friends. You guys need to add anything else to staff? I think that's it. Good enough. All right. Let me introduce our program director, Jacob Huff and Andy, and they're going to start talking about what we're all excited about, the new program schedule. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. I'll take over for now to talk about understanding the new program schedule. As Steve had mentioned, before we had 3 merit badge sessions in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. We condensed all of those merit badge sessions into the morning and made sure that we took the extra merit badges and spread them out throughout those things. We actually have, I believe, the same amount of badges that we did the year prior, or very close to that, because it was important for me to make sure that we still had those opportunities. So we now have 4 single sessions or 2 double sessions. So your scouts could take 4 morning badges. They could take 2 single sessions and 1 double session, or they could take 2 double sessions. On the schedule itself, we kept most of those double sessions the same. So your shooting sports badges, I believe the lake badges are those double sessions. And then the single sessions were the same as well. We wanted to make sure we expanded instruction times. So if you're taking some morning sessions and you're having some trouble with some of those badges, and you're saying, man, I'm really having trouble with splicing in Scoutcraft for my pioneering merit badge, how am I going to find some time in my day to be able to get that help? We're going to make sure that we have help sessions available in the afternoon at each program area that your scouts can go and get that, because it's not just us saying, hey, good luck with those splices. It's us saying, yes, you're working on those splices. They are difficult. Come and talk to us during our help sessions, and we'll make sure that you understand and get some extra practice time. Because it's important that the scouts not only, get those requirements, but they understand and they, excel at completing everything. So we want to make sure we have those expanded help times as well. And those additional help sessions for any of those badges that they might have questions about. If you have a partial, you can again come and talk to those particular areas. You might go to some of those help sessions in the afternoon to knock out a partial here or there. And that way you're not signing up for an entire badge unless you had a lot of requirements you needed done. But then you could talk to those merit badge counselors and see what they could do. So the big question is, so now what do we do in those afternoons? Well, my year as program director and my years as commissioner, what I saw was a lot of scouts saying, hey, I'm going to not go to merit badge this day because I am going to be going to one of the swimming holes in the afternoon and I have to make that time up. And sometimes they were able to make the time up and sometimes they did not make that time up, especially if they were going to a lot of different activities in those afternoons. So now we're just loading that afternoon with a lot of really fun activities, which really goes with those methods of scouting, specifically outdoor programs. So according to your scouting.org, we have scouting is dedicated to take place outdoors. It is the outdoor setting that scouts share responsibilities and learn to live with one another. It is here that the scouts, it's here that the skills and activities practiced at troop meetings come alive with purpose. Being close to nature helps scouts gain an appreciation for God's handiwork and humankind's place in it. The outdoors is a laboratory for scouts to learn ecology and practice conservation of nature's resources. So yes, we have advancement, which is another one of those methods of scouting, but we want to make sure that we are open to those outdoor programs as well. And we have as much that scouts can do without having to worry about, am I going to miss some requirements at a merit badge? Now you have these afternoons that are much more open, that you can go on some jungle adventures. You can go to open programs. You could go to Scoutcraft and say, hey, we want to do Paul Bunyan Woodsman. We want to go to the lake and we want to do your stand-up paddleboard BSA. We want to take these extra classes that we wouldn't necessarily be able to take because we're so bogged down with afternoon merit badges. We want to make sure we're open for a lot of troop trips. Not only do we have many swimming holes, some off the beaten path that people don't use a lot, such as Piano Pool and Chapel Pool, but also those hikes. We have 4,200 square acres that are available for hiking and just exploring. Who knows what kind of animals you'll see, some cryptids possibly. And we want to make sure that units are available for those unit programming as well, which again, we're looking at those aims and methods of scouting. We also have troops and patrol competitions, things such as raft races, and other competitions as well. On Wednesday in the afternoon, we're going to have our Jungle Boogie, which Andy will talk a little bit about more later on. And that's going to be our big troop our unit competition. Well, they'll go to different program areas and participate in a lot of activities. And what's the point of this? We're going to have stronger, more focused instruction. And again, then those scouts that are having those difficulties with some of those harder skills, we're able to have them come to those help sessions and make sure that not only that they're not really falling through the cracks, that they understand everything and they're really able to excel at those requirements. Because the last thing we want to do is have a large class and say, oh, look like everybody really got it. We want to make sure everybody really understands it and gets it, and that we're happy with the program that we're giving out, and that the parents are really happy with what the scouts are coming home with skill-wise. We want to make sure we provide opportunities for other types of advancement. Like I said, we have mile swim in the afternoon that scouts couldn't always do because they had those afternoon merit badges. We have Paul Bunyan Woodsman. We have the stand-up paddleboard BSA. Those other opportunities that sometimes, again, scouts weren't able to do because they were so bogged down with the merit badges. We want to make sure that we build stronger community in camp and that we just have a lot of fun. And that's really where that open afternoon allows you to really have a lot of fun. And merit badges are a lot of fun, but sometimes just going on an adventure is fun as well. And we wanted to make sure we had that afternoon available for those scouts to be able to go and have those adventures, because that's kind of, you know, that outdoor program is really what we at camp are about. All right, so I'll check and see if there's any specific questions in the Q&A, and then let's see. There will be Jerry's talking about that, a shuttle available to and from the lake, just like there kind of normally would. Lynn, if people have specific merit badge questions during those help sessions, they can talk directly to the merit badge counselors, especially if they're coming up with partials. Like I said, they're not necessarily scheduled merit badge sessions. We don't want to, like I said, bog down those counselors. But if there's something specific that a unit wants to do together or a patrol, and they say, hey, we want to kind of work on this, you could talk with your commissioner. You could talk with the program director, myself, about specifics that you're looking for. And if you have questions right off the bat here about that, you could email jacob.huff@resicafalls.org, and I'll be able to kind of direct you and answer that question directly. But again, that'll kind of depend on that afternoon session. I don't want to pull a merit badge counselor away from helping individual scouts with some of those requirements, to say, hey, teach this merit badge. However, if there's some lull time and there isn't that availability, we can talk about possibly running maybe a session of astronomy or something like that. And if that means that I might have to go and help teach some of that, that might be okay. But again, that would be kind of a case-by-case basis. But you can always email me, and I'll try my best to work with you on that. Let's see. Yeah, pre-register for High Adventure. That's a plus, but you can always just come and they'll say, hey, we're going to meet at this place at this time. And you could come to that as well. Sorry, Steve, I saw you were typing the answer. Let's see. First year scouts will be earning merit badges. They're going to be working specifically on nature, and they'll be working on fingerprinting merit badges this year. We are going to be doing the swim and water rescue, Ken. I would have to double check the schedule, and then I'll actually answer that in the chat. But yes, we'll be doing that as well. All right. So we do have some time together that we have some service days. The first one coming up here will be April 2nd. The next one will be April 23rd. And we have June 4th. So I know that I'm going to be up helping out with some of those. So please, if you have an opportunity, if you're a unit, wants to come and help with service day, you are more than welcome. Does anybody else have any thing to say about that? Steve, Jerry, anybody?
Say that again. I was typing.
That's okay. Any specific things you guys want to say about the service days? I gave the dates.
No, we're building new tent platforms for 2 more sites. So, if you could come up and help us out, that would be wonderful. So 2 new sites are going to get tents and brand new platforms, and as well as other things around camp. So if you have some free time, come on up.
All right, very good. I'm going to turn it over to Andy, and then Ken, I'm going to send you the time and day of swim and water rescue as well.
All right. Hello, everyone. As said, I'm Andy Connell. I am the Assistant Program Director here. And I'm here to talk about a bit more in general about our theme and some other random program stuff relating to here at camp. So as seen, you can see our theme this summer is Expedition Resica. It's our jungle adventure, all sorts of fun stuff relating to the jungle. We've got a lot of different influences we're taking in from it to really make sure that it will be a very fun time. So a couple of the things we've got, you see merit badges. We've addressed a lot of this already, but just a quick recap. We are going to have a cap on badges in 22 relating to how many scouts can participate. It worked really well to make sure they were not overwhelmed. We are looking to adjust some of the class sizes based off popularity, but they will be back. Pre-registration is certainly required. You already have to sign up for it for the things in advance. So that'll make sure everything's nice and easy. And then metalworking merit badge makes its return down at the shop, which is located near the entry of the camp. As Steve said at the start, we're kind of giving auto maintenance a break this summer, giving it a breather, and in that space, we're bringing back in metalworking. And then talk about our camp-wide program. So we've got a whole bunch of different things. Some things similar you would have seen from past years, others from way farther back, other things we're coming up with all together in and of itself. So we've got our jungle adventures. These are going to be held in afternoons, fun time, see different parts around camp, have some fun. We've got our run through the jungle, our Tuesday evening, the run, our triathlon, our sporting event that we have, our race for the older scouts. Typically, we reserve that for 14 or older, simply due to the exertion, as well as typically require them to be a swimmer because they will be going to the lake in most instances. The Jungle Boogie, as Jacob mentioned earlier, this is going to be our camp-wide games of the summer. Instead of being, Monday night kind of condensed just into the one parade field area, our Jungle Boogie this year is going to be taking place Wednesday afternoon, and it is going to be all across the reservation. So we could, well, the main camp area. So we can really take advantage of the facilities we have. We'll have games in, ecology, games at the ranges, at Scoutcraft, all over the place. So we can really take advantage of all that space we have and offer some unique unique games for the camp-wide games. Then we've got our cryptid night hike, another kind of night activity. We're going to be hiking through the woods along some trails, black lights, all that safe stuff, and looking for some hidden cryptids, your Bigfoots, your Chupacabras, all of that fun stuff in the wilderness of Resica Falls. Some other fun activities we've got. Lunch clubs make their return. As you've seen, we have the 2 rotating lunches. So while you're not eating lunch, you can participate in a fun lunch club. It might be something as simple as kind of like an organized tournament of Gaga. It could be basketball games, capture the flag, all that kind of fun stuff can be set up for our lunch clubs. We have our hunt for the rare Resica orchid, our week-long scavenger hunt, where scouts, scouters, patrols, troops, any kind of breakdown can decipher some clues and look around the reservation to find the rare Resica orchid. The twilight programs make their return. Our after dinner activities throughout the week, twilight boating, twilight cope, twilight archery, all these are going to make their return. Gateway competition. As always, use your scout skills, create a nice gateway, nice border, nice welcoming archway into your campsite. Use your scout skills, lashings, make it look all jungly, have some fun with it. I know last summer we saw a lot of really cool medievally gateways pop up. So, this year, bring it on with the jungle. And then last year, we had our quest board, which was very popular amongst the scouts. They could take on small extra challenges across the reservation and the camp. And this year, it's going to return as our expedition board with some returning challenges and some new ones to keep people on their toes. Okay. I'll go through, see if there's any questions. Yeah, is there a map to help minimize long hikes between merit badges? There is. We do have our camp map from the absolute entrance of camp, which is where the shop is, all the way to the other end of camp is where STEM or COPE is. That's about a little over a mile of a walk. However, that's the absolute extreme. That's the absolute farthest. Most scouts are going to be doing a walk from ecology to scoutcraft or handicraft to STEM, which is much more manageable, a significantly shorter distance. It's really only those extremes that scouts might want to better plan around, as well as the lake, which we do offer, are planning on offering some shuttles. Troops can also shuttle their own scouts up there, or as we always recommend, take all the badges in one go up at the lake, make the most of your time, because if you're planning on trying to go up and back, you might run into some issues. And anything else popping up? Bicycles. With bicycles in camp, standard safety is going to apply. Helmets, don't ride at dark. If your scouts are misbehaving on your bikes, traveling too fast, weaving, acting inappropriately on them, we're going to ask that they no longer ride their bikes. And in most cases, if you're planning your badges appropriately, the bikes you won't necessarily be needed. Map is not in the. I think that is. I'm not really seeing any others that are popping up, so I can pass it over to whoever's next. Yeah, so as you can see, we're gonna be holding another one of these leader meetings over Zoom on April 11th, same time. So mark your calendars now to get a whole bunch of more super useful information. Okay. So if
All right,
anyone,
so there seems to be a whole bunch of questions going on here. A lot of stuff about Rangers. Jacob and Andy, you guys want to talk about the Rangers program a little bit more, just in a little more detail for some leaders?
Sure. I see again what opportunities there are merit badge wise. This year we are running fingerprinting merit badge, and we are running nature merit badge. Swimming merit badge we're not running in and of itself because it's a morning program. If you have first year scouts that are running that morning program, if it was an entire day program and then your older scouts were going out on adventures in the afternoon, your younger scouts may feel left out of the unit due to not being able to participate in that if it was a full day program. So it's a morning program, just like the merit badges would be, so that they are also able to bond with the unit and get that outdoor time, which again deals directly with the aims and methods of scouting, so that they're able to get that adventure that's really going to form the bond with the unit. So again, they will be specifically able to do free swim in the afternoon. They'll be able to do the, for those that aren't swimmer yet, they would be able to go and learn more skills in that with the instructional swim and things such as that. They're also going to be doing the advancements requirements with that deal directly with swimming for your scout, tenderfoot, second class, first class, where they would have to be in the pool and do those as well. So they will have pool time, just not enough for the swimming merit badge. Again, I really want to make sure that they are able to participate in everything that those older scouts are doing in the afternoon sessions. So again, if your scouts want to break by patrol and spend some time at the pool, some spend some time on a hike, that's okay. That's up to a unit choice. But if you have your older scouts going off to piano, or if they're going to cool dip, and your younger scouts are stuck practicing their skills, they might feel left out, and we want to make sure that they are involved with the rest of the unit. It's very important. I'm looking for any more specific questions.
we have a question about Rangers overnighter.
Yes, they will still have their overnighter Thursday night, just like they would have before. Let's see. And yeah, and again, let's see, we have our anonymous attendee. If the Resica Rangers doesn't include swimming, you can't enroll your scouts in it. That's okay. That first year program, Resica Rangers, we run, a lot of requirements for those scout, tenderfoot, second class, first class, but it's not something that you have to do. Again, that's something that we do at our camp, but if you would rather take those requirements on in the campsite, have maybe some of your older scouts teaching those skills, that would be a great use of the afternoon. And again, great bonding time. And then they would be able to sign up for that swimming merit badge as long as they have, during their swim test, got that they are a swimmer. As far as overnighters need to bring their own tent, they're more than welcome to. Andy's typing that answer now. Let's see. As far as campfire costumes in the afternoons, sometimes we will be, not necessarily all the time. It depends on the specific program area, what safety concerns there might be with those. But I know I'm going to be in my costume as much as possible because it's going to be really fun. Let's see. All right. All right. Any other questions anybody sees? Specifically about Rangers?
Jacob, there's one question about, I think, a cap on Rangers, just if you can address that.
There will be a cap on Rangers. Steve, do you happen to know the number off the top of your head?
I do not know the number, the cap on Rangers.
Okay.
I believe done at
Sorry.
yeah. No, I don't believe what the cap is. I know it's significantly higher than last year, so that we can accommodate people that need to make that program happen.
Right. Yes. We do have more staff, and it's in a much more open area than it would be in a merit badge session. So they're going to be significantly larger than your merit badge sessions and larger than last year as well. Thanks, Steve. All right.
John, there was a question about money. Some people they came in late, so they wanted some clarification on the money aspect. Can you go over that again, please?
Yeah, so real quick, I've tried to answer a bunch of those questions, but for those that I haven't had a chance to answer yet, Black Pug is the system that we're using this year for all of our camp registrations. For those that have been with us before, that system had been called Double Knot. Black Pug is the new system that we've moved to, and it's actually the system that more than half of the BSA councils use for their summer camp programs for registration. So, we're learning through some of the learning curve, as you do anytime there's a new system, but it is the system that more than half of the BSA councils use. So that's where you'll do your registration. That's where you'll add your scouts. That's where you'll select your program. And by tomorrow at midnight, you need to make sure that you go in and you pay $50 per scout. There are some units that if you had registered your unit, I think it was after February 1st, it may have been January 1st, you were not asked for a $250 deposit because you were asked for that scout deposit already. So there are some units, a very few number, that will not be required to pay that $250 unit deposit, and you're immediately asked for that $50 scout deposit. So that was a bit confusing for a couple of people that I've answered, but by and large, that $50 per scout is again per scout. That $250, if you've paid a $250 unit deposit, that is not what locks in your early bird. You have to pay that $50 per scout to lock in that early bird fee. There's a question, how do we access that Black Pug? The Black Pug, there have been several emails that got sent out to the registration contact that was on the declarations of intent. If you're not receiving those emails, please let us know. Email me. You can email me directly if someone in your unit, not everybody in your unit will get that email, but if someone in your unit has not received emails from us through Black Pug, please let me know. john.bickle@scouting.org. I won't be able to probably help much tonight, but when we get into the office tomorrow morning, I'll be able to work with Kim and Tracy and work on that. So just to make sure everybody's on the same page there. So the cost of, I saw a question here from Michael, that the cost of camp is $445. And can we take this one, can we also take paddlecraft? Sorry, that got messed up here. So Michael, to address your question about 445 and the coupon, the coupon is for those units that registered before we had to increase our price back in October. We honored the original price that we had told you you would have paid at the time of your declaration of intent submittal. So that's why that coupon was applied. So just so everybody's aware, again, that $50 deposit is for each scout. At this point, the $250 unit deposit is not the important part. The $50 deposit for each scout is the important part. So. And for the anonymous attendee, why is there a $250 unit deposit? We do that early in the registration process to lock in your registration to make sure that you have basically a seat at the table. We do that before you have to submit any more money. Instead of charging units $50 per scout right up front, we do what we try to do is the more ethical thing we feel, and just do a smaller unit deposit, so that way you can lock in your spot early on, whether that's during your summer while you're still there, or early in the fall. You can lock in your spot without having to pay a full a few $1,000s for all of the $50 for the scouts in your unit right away. So anyway, trying to help with as many of these questions as we can as they come in. So again, any of the other questions that we can help with registration, email camping@colbsa.org, and myself, copy me to the emails, and we're happy to help as much as we can. But that $50, we've tried to be as clear as possible. So that $50 per scout is the important thing to have paid by tomorrow night at midnight. And actually, a good question here from Michael. It might be a typo, but the scoutingevent.com, that is Blackbug. It might also come as 24/7 scouting. Blackbug uses a couple of different kind of cutesy terms that they use that to identify themselves. So scoutingevent.com, 24/7 scouting. If you're reserving a campsite with us for a different time of the year, campreservations.com I think is the other one that they use. So there's a couple of things like that. That's Blackbug. That's us trying to contact you. So if you haven't got an email, I would check your clutter, your spam. There's an email that went out just around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So every unit that has registered for camp, or even has tried to register for camp, would have the registration contact would have gotten that email from us. So maybe check your clutter, check your junk. Every email system, unfortunately, does different things with different types of emails. But yeah, definitely make sure that you have that email. Oh, and a question again, actually something I had talked on earlier, but I haven't referenced in a while, about new scouts. So as you have new scouts that are signing up, so if you've got a kid that's been a scout for 2 or 3 years, that's kind of on the fence about whether they want to go to summer camp, if their deposit is not paid by tomorrow at 11:59 p.m., then they will not, then they will pay the full price. But if you have a new scout, so whether that's a Weeblo crossover, or it's someone that's new to your troop, you can register them as Weeblo's crossovers, and all of those scouts will get the early bird fee. We don't want to penalize Weeblos, and we don't want to penalize new scouts. We want to encourage them to come to camp. So everyone that is a new scout, or including Weeblo's crossovers, you'll register them as Weeblo's crossovers, and that will get them the early bird deposit, or the early bird rate, regardless of how late into the season they register, as long as there's still room, in that week of camp for them to register. There's a question here from Michael about there's nowhere on Blackpug to distinguish the crossover currently. That's definitely in there. So it's a participant type. So instead of selecting a youth participant, you'll select Weeblo's crossover. That spot is in there, and I can only be so sure of that because we've had folks register as Weeblo's crossovers already. So that is in there. That's live. So just go back in and check on that one. So, and then another question about when the video will be available. We'll have this up by the end of the week at the latest, hopefully in the next day or two, but certainly by the end of the week at the latest. As always, in the leaders guide, just as a reminder, all of our contact information is in the leaders guide on that first page underneath the welcome letter. So please feel free to reach out to any of us at any point. Steve Mock and Jerry Reed, the camp director and assistant camp director, are the best contacts for a lot of the admin pieces. Camping at colbsa.org and myself are the best contact for a lot of the Blackpug pieces, especially camping at colbsa.org. And then, Jacob and Andy are the best contacts for all of your different program questions that you have answered after the meeting. It's tough to answer every question that could possibly get answered in an hour and a half here, but we try to do our best and we try to make sure that everybody's got the answers that they need. So you can always feel free to contact us with a question that you feel like didn't get answered fully or that you have some follow-up on. Please feel free to reach out to us and we will respond to your messages as quickly as we can. Jennifer, how do I make a payment now? You'll log into that Blackpug system and you'll when you at checkout, it will ask for you to pay. So you'll pay that at the checkout. You want to make sure that you pay that $50 deposit for each scout. So. All right, friends, well, we appreciate everybody being here with us. Like we said, thanks so much. We're going to get this Zoom recording live in the next couple of days as quickly as we can. Look forward to joining you for the next version of this. But of course, like we said, we're available in the interim to answer any questions that you can and take care of that. So hope everyone has a great night and we'll talk to you later.